Welcome to Visual Learner's Channel, where tech gets spicy and data gets downright scandalous. If you're new, smash that subscribe button and buckle up for a wild ride. You're watching VL Extras, and today we're spilling the tea on Astronomer, a $1.3 billion data unicorn that went from taming messy data to taming the internet. Their Astro platform, built on Apache Airflow, powers giants like Uber and Apple, but it was a Coldplay kiss cam disaster that made them a meme machine. Did CEO Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot's smooch sink the ship? Or did Gwyneth Paltrow's PR wizardry turn chaos into gold? Grab your sketch pads because we're drawing this data-driven soap opera and it's juicier than a reality show. In today's world, data is gold. But unlike gold, it doesn't shine. Spread across 1 trillion Google Docs, Uber requests, and badly named Excel files, it's a hot mess. Think unstructured chaos clogging the internet's arteries. And while we all love shiny apps, what powers them behind the scenes is pure data chaos. That's where Astronomer comes in. Astronomer's Astro is the unsung hero, streamlining AI pipelines for the likes of Amazon. But how did this backstage tech nerd become the internet's obsession? Let's talk about the drama. Founded in 2015 by 5 low-key geniuses, Paula Peraza Calderon, Rai Walker, Greg Nyheisel, Viraj Parekh, and Pete DeJoy, Astronomer is the force behind Apache Airflow, an open-source project that's basically the traffic cop of your data. This San Francisco startup tames the chaos for 700-plus enterprises like Ford and Activision. Imagine ordering an Uber U tap and a car appears. Magic, right? But behind the scenes, it's a data stampede. Geolocation, payment APIs, driver routing, all separate beasts. Astronomer's Astro, powered by Apache Airflow, wrangles them into seamless data pipelines. Airflow orchestrates the madness. It connects geolocation, billing, ETA prediction, all that back-end wizardry. With $213 million funding in Series C and $93 million in Series D, they hit a $1.3 billion valuation, earning unicorn status. Their team, including Airflow legends like Jed Cunningham and Kaxil Naik, drives 100% of Apache Airflow releases, used by 80,000-plus organizations. But nobody tweeted about their ETL pipelines until a Coldplay concert turned their CEO into a meme.
Airflow is a modern data delivery mechanism that enables companies to create modern applications and have data through Airflow delivered into those modern applications to ensure that whether it's their customers, their orders, their billing, or a lot of their internal and regulatory applications or next generation AI and machine learning applications are up and running properly.
Machine learning and AI comes down to data engineering. It comes down to repeatable, reliable data processing. If you're a machine learning team, if you're a data scientist, you need to have data available which is clean, and you want that available for your machine learning processes and for the training of your models. Once you've set up those data pipelines initially to process all that incoming data, you can focus on the valuable task of producing the most accurate, insightful models, and the data is just available to you lights out.
So there's a couple things that really still do make Airflow unique. Number one, this whole idea of pipelines as code is really game-changing. Number two is it's really extensible. So people write Airflow integrations for things like Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery, just about everything in the major cloud has an Airflow integration.
Modern machine learning requires almost everything in the modern data stack. And so pretty much every organization that offers technology for the processing and analysis of data has been affected by the revolution in generative AI and large language models. Airflow, and Astro is the commercial developer for Airflow, has been particularly impacted by that because we are at the center of the modern data stack. We control the flow of data from beginning to end, and in many cases, that flow of data includes the processing of documents for these large language models.
Airflow sits at the core of everything that we do. It's the technology that we use to move everything from source databases to third-party applications into our data warehouse. Astronomer allowed us to streamline our deployment process, our testing process, our upgrade process, and ultimately focus on more business problems directly.
The biggest benefit working with Astronomer is that we don't have to maintain the team full of engineers taking care of the technical stuff because we have Astronomer. That's cost saving.
Airflow is a very central piece for our data organization. It's being used for all the data orchestration needs that FAIR has right now. It powers some of the very tight SLA requirement pipelines, for example, like the feature store.
We have been using Airflow since 5 years, and we used that before having Astro. Like Astronomer helped us scale the security and the ability to manage deployments and have multiple deployments for multiple domains and power these analytics in a safe, quick, and reliable way.
Our goal at Astronomer is to make sure that we continue to have just a very happy and healthy customer base that sees us delivering value, not just for today with Astronomer and Airflow, but also for the modern applications that they're going to build in the future.
Astro makes it so end users can focus on their data and moving their data around as they need without thinking about things that aren't related to their core competency. Any size and scale can be really successful with Apache Airflow. What we found is a lot of companies that were successful had these huge engineering teams they could dedicate around it. We wanted to make it so anybody could do that.
Astronomer was quietly crushing it, but a Jumbotron was about to blow their cover. Let's draw the scandal that shook the internet. July 16th, 2025, Boston's Gillette Stadium. Coldplay's rocking, and Astronomer's CEO Andy Byron and Chief People Officer Kristen Cabot are vibing in the crowd. Then bam! The kiss cam catches them in a very cozy embrace. Plot twist. Both are married, but not to each other. Chris Martin, ever the jokester, quips, either they're having an affair or they're very shy. The internet loses it, X goes wild. Memes hit 40 million views and Byron trends above Coldplay. Whispers of Byron's toxic leadership surface, with employees spilling tea on his past. Astronomer's board panics, puts both on leave, and they resign for conduct violations. An investigation launches and the stock market holds its breath. Was this the end of Astronomer's data dynasty? Spoiler, they had a Hollywood ace up their sleeve.
Astronomer CEO Andy Byron has been removed from his post following his viral moment at a Coldplay concert. After he was seen dodging cameras when a Jumbotron showed him closely hugging a woman at the band's Massachusetts concert, leading frontman Chris Martin to joke that the pair were, quote, having an affair, Astronomer announced its decision to place Byron on leave. Writing in a July 18th statement on LinkedIn, co-founder and chief product officer Pete DeJoy is currently serving as interim CEO given Andy Byron has been placed on leave. We will share more details as appropriate in the coming days. The company also shared that a formal investigation has been launched. Writing in a separate statement, Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability. The company went on to clear up rumors about other employees being at the concert and if their CEO has publicly addressed the situation, explaining Alyssa Stoddard was not at the event and no other employees were in the video. Andy Byron has not put out any statement. Reports saying otherwise are all incorrect.
Astronomer was on the ropes, but they didn't duck and cover. They called in a PR superhero to flip the script. Let's draw the comeback. They hired Gwyneth Paltrow, Coldplay's ex-queen and goop guru, as Astronomer's very temporary spokesperson. On July 25th, 2025, they drop a 60-second X video that's pure chaos control. In a 60-second ad, she addressed the chaos head-on. No apologies, no tears, just straight-up SaaS and software talk. Paltrow leans into the scandal, batting away fake questions like, OMG, what the actual F? How with duh, Astronomer's the best for Apache Airflow? She plugs their Beyond Analytics conference and pivots to Astro's data pipelines, turning memes into marketing gold. Gwyneth Paltrow's video didn't just dodge the kiss cam drama, it made Astronomer a vibe. By leaning into the chaos, they turned 40 million meme views into 36.5 million video views. The result? 50.1% positive X sentiment and a 15,000% website traffic spike that's more clicks than a viral cat video. Marketing pros call it a PR mic drop. With co-founder Pete DeJoy as interim CEO, Astronomer swaps drama for dazzle, proving they're as slick at brand storytelling as they are at data orchestration.
After the Coldplay concert drama between Astronomer's HR exec and CEO, Astronomer just did the unthinkable. They hired Gwyneth Paltrow, yes, Chris Martin's ex-wife, as their temporary spokesperson. In a LinkedIn video, Gwyneth shows up saying,
"I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300+ employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones."
Astronomer, the company of the CEO who cheated on his wife at a Coldplay concert, has finally addressed the viral video. Now, at first glance, it's just a recognizable woman saying that Astronomer is ready to put the situation behind them and move on. But that's when you realize, wait, who is the woman on camera here? The woman that was hired by Astronomer to make this video for their company is Gwyneth Paltrow, the ex-wife of the singer of Coldplay. This is the most perfect response to a company scandal I have ever seen and will ever see. Who was smart enough in that meeting room to say, you know what guys, it would be really funny if we hired the ex-wife of the Coldplay singer to address the situation at the Coldplay concert. Although you gotta feel bad for Chris Martin. I mean, he's just catching strays out of nowhere. It's not his fault that the CEO of Astronomer got caught lacking, and now his ex-wife is representing the company.
This morning, the 15 minutes of fame for the Astronomer co-workers seen on the Jumbotron at the Coldplay concert, they aren't over yet.
Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300+ employees at Astronomer.
Now, Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin's ex, Gwyneth Paltrow, has entered the fray.
Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow.
The company Astronomer looking to both turn the page and cash in after losing their CEO and head of human resources after the two were seen cuddling on the kiss cam.
Astronomer had a major media moment, which it did not intend to have, when its CEO was caught on camera in a really compromising situation. And so figuring out very quickly what to do with it is always a challenge.
Astronomer hiring Ryan Reynolds' company Maximum Effort to create an ad that would capitalize on the newfound interest in the company. Mission accomplished by hiring Paltrow, who famously consciously uncoupled from Martin a decade ago.
I think it really injected some humor into what was like a pretty non-humorous situation. It helped people see this company in a really more human way, which creates real relationships with their real potential consumers.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer.
Just hitting all the right notes. No word yet on how much Gwyneth was paid, but a lot of people think whatever it was well worth it.
It was a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot.
I want to ask Rebecca, though, from a business perspective,
Sure.
Brilliant, will it pay off?
I think if the price is right, it definitely pays off. And like everybody here is saying, it's delicious, it's brilliant. I think business schools are going to study this as like how to deal in crisis comms in the future.
For sure.
Own it.
Yeah. And for those employees, too.
Who here knew anything about Astronomer and
No
Apache
one.
Airflow?
No. There's someone out there who knew, George, but we
now
at this
everybody
table
knows.
did not know, and now we know.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300+ employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow, unifying the experience of running data, ML, and AI pipelines at scale. We've been thrilled so many people have a newfound interest in data workflow.
But what's Astro really about? Let's draw the tech. Paltrow stole the spotlight, but Astro's the real MVP. Let's draw how it powers the world's biggest companies. While X-memed Astronomer's KissCam, their Astro platform was quietly running the internet. Built on Apache Airflow, Astro streamlines data pipelines for AI, analytics, and ML workloads at companies like Apple, Ford, and Adobe. Order a ride on Uber? Astro syncs geolocation, billing, and routing like a digital wizard. Astro Observe monitors pipelines in real time, catching crashes before they tank your app. Astronomer Cosmos makes DBT core integration so easy, data nerds weep with joy. With 350 employees and 3,000 plus Airflow contributors, Astronomer drives 100% of Airflow releases, used by 8,000 plus organizations. No wonder Amazon and Marriott are fans. This unicorn's magic is real.
If you're new to data engineering, then the two best ways to learn data engineering is 1. To read some data engineering books in order to get some fundamental insight into what data engineering is. And 2. To build some basic data pipelines in order to understand how data engineering works in the practical world. As a beginner, you might ask me, what are some books that I can read in order to understand these fundamental concepts? And there are so many tools out there. How do I build my very first data pipeline without all the jargon? Well, this video is the answer to both your questions. In this video, we will be building a data pipeline using Airflow to pull Amazon's data engineering books and store it in a relational database called Postgres. To build this pipeline, you will not need to connect to any cloud service provider. All the tools are open source. You can execute this on your local machine. So without any further ado, let's get started. Building a data engineering pipeline usually consists of 3 steps: extract, transform, and load. This is usually referred to as ETL in big data terminology. Extraction can happen from either an API, a database, or like in this case, scraping some web data. Here, we'll be scraping Amazon books from Amazon's website. Once the data is secured, this data is then cleaned or transformed in order to get data that is only relevant for our analysis. After receiving the cleaned and transformed data, this data is then loaded into a storage location. Storage location depends upon the data that is received. If the data is structured, then a relational database or a data warehouse may be an ideal storage location. If the data is unstructured, then data lakes, object storage, or NoSQL databases can be ideal solutions. There is also an option of hybrid storage location, which is a combined storage for structured and unstructured data. In this case, we'll be loading our clean data into a relational database called Postgres. To run this pipeline without any manual intervention and on a schedule, we'll be needing a scheduler. Apache Airflow is a platform that allows you to manage and schedule complex workflows known as DAGs, which is short for Directed Acyclic Graphs. Each DAG represents a series of tasks that have to be executed in a specific order. In order to run these DAGs, there are several internal components that are needed. A scheduler, which allows scheduling of DAGs, a web server to run the UI, a database to store the metadata, and a couple of executors in order to run these DAGs. To manage all these internal components, we'll be installing Airflow on a Docker container. Docker is a really powerful way that allows installation and running of multiple components in one location. Docker with Airflow simplifies our installation process and allows seamless management of workflows. If you want to learn more about Airflow and Docker, I would suggest to go about the documentation on both websites. It is very detailed and comprehensive. Last but not the least, we'll be using Python as a primary programming language and SQL to write queries for our database. With that said, let's jump into the
Every day, your organization makes thousands of decisions based on data, but that data is only as reliable as the pipelines that deliver it. The challenges data teams face are clear. Pipelines are too complex to troubleshoot quickly, security requirements are increasingly rigorous, and infrastructure needs to support everything from bad TTL to event-driven AI workflows. Today, we're introducing Apache Airflow 3, the most significant release in Airflow's history, designed specifically to address these challenges head-on. Let's take a look at what makes this release so important for your data strategy.
Airflow 3 addresses a core challenge data teams face: time spent debugging workflows and managing pipeline health. Code changes are inevitable, but losing the history when there is a code change makes for difficult pipeline management. DAG versioning in Airflow 3 creates a snapshot of each workflow's code at execution time, permanently tying every pipeline run to its exact DAG definition. When investigating a failed run from last week, you'll see the exact code that executed at the time, not what's currently running in your repository. During compliance audits, you can confidently demonstrate which precise code version processed specific data. Teams can safely iterate on workflows without losing history of previous successful configurations. This addresses one of the most persistent challenges in orchestration, knowing exactly which code ran, when, and how it behaved.
So what did we learn today, visual learners? That in the age of data, even nerdy back-end infrastructure companies can steal the spotlight with just a little scandal and a whole lot of Gwyneth. Astronomer could have been a scandal footnote, but they pulled a PR heist worthy of Ocean's 11. Airflow's 31 million downloads and 8,000 plus users prove they're the real deal. From Byron's blunder to Paltrow's pizzazz, Astronomer showed AI infrastructure can be as captivating as a Coldplay chorus. This is brand storytelling done right. Like, comment your take on Astronomer's viral glow-up, and subscribe to VL Extras for more weird, wild, and wonderfully nerdy stories. Because the backend deserves the front page. Data's the new gold, and Astronomer's serving it with a side of sass.
Lying with no more, teeth sinking deeper, hunger begging for more. Hands up, let it drop, feel the earthquake.